In this video, I'm going to go through two demonstrations of expect scripts doing useful things. I really hope you enjoy it. This is the first expect demo. I'm on a system, and from the system I'm going to SSH into a Linux system at address 10.7.0.17. Supply the password. I'm going to run the uname command. I'm going to get the version information from the OS release file. I'm going to run a df command to look at the disk usage, and then I'm going to log out. Now I can automate that manual process using this expect script called demo1.exp, and that runs very quickly because all I've had to do is invoke the script. All of the typing of the password and the commands is done automatically by the expect script. I can run the script again and send the output into a file. And then if we look at the output that's in that file, we can see it's the information that we would expect to see. So at this stage we can run the automation and save the output into a file. We can actually go further than that. We could run this job in the background as an app job. This time we'll save the output into a file called output.at. We'll give that a couple of seconds to run. And then again, if we look at the output, we've got the output of the commands. We can go even further. We can run it from cron on a regular basis. So here I've got a cron tab file which will run the demo1.exp file, and it will put the output into a file name. And the file name will be output dash and then the actual minute that the script was actually run. So if I put that cron tab into place, that cron tab will run every minute. So we will pause the video and come back in a few minutes. Okay, so we're back. About 3 to 4 minutes have elapsed. Let's have a look. And we can see here that we've got output files, output -00, -01. So if we look at one of those, let's look at the latest one. Again, we can see the output from that login session and the commands running. So we can see that using expect, we can automate an SSH login session. We can automate the commands which are run during that session, and then we can save the output to a file, and we can run that from an add command in the background, and we can also run it unattended from cron on whatever schedule that you'd like. So there's some very powerful features there. For the second expect demonstration, I'm going to log in to a network switch using telnet. The switch has the IP address 10.7.0.200. I'm going to show you the running configuration. It's got a very basic configuration, and then I'm going to log out of the switch. Now, in a similar fashion to the first demo, I'm going to run an expect script which will basically do what I just did there, log in. Well, that went really fast. Let's do it again. Almost too quick for you to see. So because we know that we can send the output of an expect script into a file and then look at that file, that feature is going to come in handy. So let's put the output into a file called switch, and let's have a look at the content. Now I'm opening this up in VI because that's going to show us, you can see all these red control characters, escape characters, all sorts of things in here, but we can see the information, and crucially we can see the configuration here. Now, in order to make things easier, I've got a program which will look at that switch file and extract the important bits from it. The program is called extract config, so I'm going to display the content of the switch file, pipe it into this command called extract config. This program needs a command line argument called running configuration. And when we do that, we see the running configuration output on the screen. So what we can now do is if we run demo2.exp and then pipe the output into the extract config command, all we will see is the configuration. That's useful. So let's save that into config, and that's our switch configuration saved. So I've just been told that someone has made a configuration change on that switch. So I'm going to run the demo2 expect script again to get the latest copy of the configuration for two reasons. I want to have the latest config for backup reasons, but I also want to see what the differences are which have been made. So I'll run the script again, but this time I'll send the output into a file called config2. And then using the diff program, I'll look for the differences between the configuration I took earlier and then the configuration I've just taken now, because I've been told that some changes were made. And we can see here that the changes have been to add some names to the interface 1 and interface 2. And actually, if we look, remind ourselves what it looked like before, and here's what it looks like now, and we can see that here, whoops, here we have the new information that's in there. Now, going back to the first demonstration, we know that we can run expect scripts from cron. So we've got here the very basis of an ability to be able to log into a network switch on a regular basis, say every night, and then after we've logged in and obtained the configuration and saved it into a file, if we keep the previous configurations from all of the runs each night, we can compare the run from that we've just done with the one that was done the previous night 24 hours ago and compare them. And if they're different, we may want to let somebody know, because there's a change has been made. It's probably a good, benign, correct change, but it would be handy just to keep track of what that is. Basically, you've got the tools here to create a configuration management monitoring system, and also you're managing to take a backup of the switch configuration. So should anything happen to the switch, maybe it suffers a hardware failure, you've got the configuration at the ready to put back onto the replacement switch. Very useful stuff. So hopefully that's a good demonstration of where using expect can give you some real power. As always, thank you for watching. Till next time.